Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
Being here in the monastery is my dream come true. Being a monk is so exciting.
Well, no one's ever said that before. I'm curious if you'll still be singing the same tune in a month's time.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening, so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs. This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to.
Salve Domine.
This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren, and above us monks are the prior and the circators, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict. The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You, too, will learn how. And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We'll be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here. I need to make a confession.
I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done. It's probably nothing to worry about.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning down the Neuhof stud.
You don't say. And who are you to take such an interest?
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway? What do you want from me?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhof incident, and all the other brethren have been here much longer than that.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still, I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lukas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind that massacre. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok at Neuhof sends chills up my spine.
Maybe you're right. It's not a pretty thought. Thanks for your help, and please don't say a word to anyone.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are locked inside my lips.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's not much to tell. I lived in Vlashim, and after my father died, I found out I wasn't much of a merchant. So I left the shop to my brother, and decided to become a monk. It's peaceful here. There's food and lots of time to read.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did. I might be the only one. The truth is, the idea of spending my life in a monastery was more appealing than being cooped up in a greasy old shop.
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago? Apparently it involved 2 carpenters who were being treated here, and they were fighting with a monk?
With a monk? Too bad I didn't see that.
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask. I'm looking for some lockpicks. Do you know anyone in the monastery who could help me?
Lockpicks? You surprise me, brother. And you, a nobleman's son. But you could ask Brother Salarius. They say he used to be a thief.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Are there any rifts between the brothers?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange you haven't noticed.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlas. And if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlas is definitely the right man. Unfortunately, no one cares about my opinion because novices get no say.
Tell me something about life here.
Work, prayer, as if you didn't know. We serve God, and that's the central truth of our lives.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
Gloria in excelsis Deo, et in terra pax hominibus bonem voluntatis.
forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
Inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself. Forget about them. What would you like?
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know, but I've no time for idle chat. I transcribe books from dawn till dusk. I've been doing it for years, and I'll be doing it till the day I die.
What, you do nothing else?
It is my penance and my blessing. And now, brother, if you don't mind, I'd like to get this page finished. What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I'd like to ask about something.
Can't you see I'm working? Ask someone else. God be with you.
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
I'm interested in the other novices. Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
Listen, there's something I ought to tell you. There's a dangerous criminal hiding in the monastery, and I came here to look for him.
Ha! I knew it! He's a villain. Who are you, though? Oh, it's better not to ask, isn't it? It's always safer not to ask.
Never mind that. Who's a villain?
That's Siskin. I always thought he was an odd one, the way he carries on. But now it makes perfect sense. He's a criminal fleeing justice.
What are you talking about? You clearly know something I don't.
I'm telling you, keep your eye on him. He's no monk. That's what my gut tells me. And my gut's never wrong. What are you going to do to that fellow once you find him?
That's not your concern.
You should talk to the circators or the prior about it, not act on your own.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
Who would you vote for as the new abbot if you could?
Why do you care? We don't have the right to vote, so we shouldn't get mixed up in it.
I'm just interested, that's all.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place to get involved. It's enough that Antonius is mixed up in it. Don't you start too.
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago? Apparently it involved two carpenters who were being treated here, and they were fighting with a monk?
With a monk? Too bad I didn't see that.
He'll still be on this earth for many years to come.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
But I want change, and only a new abbot can bring that.
Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially Abbot Peter, and soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
Are there already candidates to be the new abbot?
Brothers John and Nevlas. But the others have been fighting like dogs because of them. We don't have to fight about anything, though.
Why can't novices vote?
They say we don't have enough experience to decide about anything. Don't worry, we'll get our chance.
Why is who wins so important?
We're young and we'll spend the rest of our lives here. And the abbot decides everything about our lives. Didn't it ever occur to you how powerful he is?
Well, that's all. Thank you for your time, brother.
Horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing these days.
Miserere nobis.
This is not a good time for questions, brother.
Genitum non factum, consubstantialem patri, perquem omnia
This is not a good time for questions, brother.
cuius regni non erit
This is not a good time for questions, brother.
Done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the Superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only.
Praise be to
if
our
what
Lord
is
Jesus.
commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction.
Talk to me, brother.
Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet said.
Who would you choose as the new abbot if you could?
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote?
I have set a guard to
Gregor, don't go poking your nose into other people's business. You'll sleep better at night.
Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil works. Therefore, since this
I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
and in another place, death and life.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
The master, the disciple,
Do you know anything about your dog?
listen.
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the circuitous. That's about it.
But as for coarse jests and idle words or words of
Tell me about Antonius.
these we condemn every
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
open his mouth.
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
The first degree
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the
Will you tell me something about yourself?
glory of life,
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such work as this,
There's something I should tell you. Something secret. I'm looking for someone here in the monastery.
You're looking for someone? But you're a novice, aren't you?
I am a novice. At least until I find the man I'm looking for.
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law, the law of the church.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm. He's taken many lives.
I heard something about that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't be. Have you told the prior? What are you going to do to this man once you find him?
Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another.
I don't know yet.
It won't be easy to drag this criminal away from the protection of the cloister. Unless the abbot gives his blessing. But I still can't believe it.
Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the impostor I'm looking for?
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never told me. Now I won't be able to sleep at night.
Let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold,
If you could, who would you vote for to be the abbot?
But I can't vote, so what's the point of worry? Ask Antonius. He often talks about it, and I'm sure he has an opinion.
The fool is not corrected with words.
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago. Apparently it involved two carpenters who were being treated here, and they were fighting with a monk?
I don't intend to talk about that.
Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a...
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words.
Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter, and soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
The abbot should always remember...
Are there already candidates to be the new abbot?
Brothers John and Nevlas, but the others have been fighting like dogs because of them. We don't have to fight about anything, though.
Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one
This John,
he finds better
who is
than
he?
good works.
A circator, and really just an unpleasant old man. It's mostly the older brothers on his side, because they believe he'll protect the status quo and all the benefits that come with long service here.
Tell me something about Nevlas.
Nevlas manages the monastery's property. He's what they call the provost. He'd like to bring back solemnity to the monastery through reform and by returning to pure faith. A lovely idea, but most of the monks are against it.
He should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishment.
Well, that's all.
Knowing that
Thank you for your time, brother.
The fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death.
I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
The rule of Saint...
I know. I saw you in the church during the ceremony. I have a feeling we'll be meeting again soon, and often. You see, I'm a circator.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything is the way it should be.
And when it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require correction, will you, brother?
Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important...
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago. Apparently it involved two carpenters who were being treated here, and they were fighting with a monk?
A monk? I've no idea.
About you in the election, will you tell me more about it?
Ask me anything you want.
For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciples part.
Tell me something about Nevlas.
Nevlas is weak and toothless. He's full of hot hair. How anyone could think he'd make a good abbot is beyond me. Enough. I don't even want to hear his name again.
I'd like to know what's going on here.
Well, the young brothers feel they don't have the same rights and responsibilities as we, who have spent much of our lives here. And what of it? Privilege needs to be earned. Nevlas is lying when he says he wants to right wrongs. All he cares about are benefits for himself and his cronies.
That is to say, he should
I'd like to help you if I can.
And holy, by his deeds even more than by his words.
There is something you could do. I'm convinced Nevlus must have done something that would greatly damage him if everyone found out. If he was preaching water and drinking wine, for example.
So I should dig something up on him and tell you about it?
Exactly. But I doubt you'll have any luck. Nevlus is too cunning and careful to give anything away.
Persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't seem right to me.
He who aids a sinner sins himself. I shall pray for your soul, brother.
Since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering
Thank you for answering.
The priest of silence. The well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition.
Talk to me, brother.
The fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will...
I'm interested in the other novices. I'm interested in Lucas.
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps himself to himself. If you ask me, he's got something to hide. I'd keep well clear of him if I was you.
Do you have any grounds for suspecting him of something?
Quite a lot. And also none at all. The circuitous who make the rounds despise him, and they never punish anyone without cause.
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago. Apparently it involved two carpenters who were being treated here. And they were fighting with a monk?
A monk? I've no idea.
Works or in obedience, and let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of silence, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments. Knowing that it is written, the fool is not correct.
I think that you're the man I'm looking for.
And again,
what are you on about? You can't be serious.
I am. Your secretiveness, the fact that you don't want to speak with anyone, that you keep to yourself, you're obviously hiding something.
But you're wrong. You've made a terrible mistake. I'm not the man you're looking for. I'm not. Please, don't hurt me.
He should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's
You're lying.
commandments.
You are pious, a criminal in need of punishment.
Saint Anthony, pray for me. Help! Is anyone there? Help me! Brother Gregor is a madman!
The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed.
Go away.
From him
I don't
more
want to
is
talk to you.
required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering
My name's
the fate of
Gregor,
Heli,
a novice.
priest of silence.
You can call me Siskin.
Well-disposed in those of
Now,
good
are you here of your own free will, or is this a
understanding,
punishment?
admonition the first and
Although
second
it's not
time.
important. Welcome to
But bold,
purgatory.
hard,
Did you say
proud,
purgatory?
and disobedient characters
You'll see soon
should
enough.
curb at the very
Soon
beginning
enough.
of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments.
There's something I
Knowing
should
that
tell
it is
you.
written,
Something you won't be
"The fool
happy
is
to
not
hear.
corrected with words."
I'm here to find
And
someone
again,
and,
beat your son
well, to
with
do
the
away
rod,
with him.
and you will
But listen,
deliver
it's
his
not
soul
murder.
from death.
Not when it's a man like him. He's one of the brigands who burned down Neuhof. He doesn't deserve to live.
What's he doing here? And who are you?
They call him pious because he used to be a priest. When he found out a lot of people were after him, He hid away here, and as you can see, escaped suspicion. They sent me here to find him and bring him to justice. He's one of the novices.
So we have one outlaw and one assassin in our midst. This place is a lot more exciting than I expected. Do you know who it is?
Well, that's just it. I suspect Lucas.
He certainly says little enough, and he keeps himself to himself. I could well believe he's hiding something, but not that he's a killer.
I suspect it could be Yodok.
Do you know, that occurred to me too. Yodok's a scoundrel and a cheat. I believe he'd be capable of anything.
It could be Antonius?
Antonius? He's a fine fellow. No, it can't be him. Although, you never know what's hiding beneath a man's skin.
See how hard it is? It could be anyone, and at the same time, nobody in particular. It could be you.
What on earth makes you think that? My being unfit for holy orders doesn't make me a former assassin.
True enough. I won't tell you more, and I'd like you to keep silent about this too.
You're talking about killing in the monastery. I really should report it.
Would you do that? I have a feeling you wouldn't.
You're right. I'll keep it to myself. I've got problems enough of my own without involving myself in yours. And besides, I mean to be gone from here within a year, so why should I care what happens with the monastery?
Thank you, Siskin. I appreciate it.
I've heard some unsettling news. I've been told you've lied about who you are the entire time you've been here. What do you have to say about it? Who are you really?
It's true that I'm not who I say I am. I'm not the young Lord Carl. He ran away and sent me in his place.
Why would you agree to that?
Money. I was drowning in debt, and the money from Sir Carl helped my family stay afloat. Carl never wanted to become a monk, but Father, I found peace here in the monastery. It's better for me to serve God here than continue my life of sin in the world outside.
Thank you for your honesty. Because you've told the truth, I'll forgive you for deceiving us. Continue to be an exemplary monk, and I promise I'll forget about what's happened. Well, unless someone from Sir Carl's family intervenes, then I'll have no choice. I'll have to deal with the situation.
Thank you for your kindness, brother. I'm a new brother, a novice, Gregor. I don't know my way around here yet. You're in charge of the whole monastery, aren't you?
Welcome amongst us. Yes. The Lord wanted me to take over the abbot's duties in his absence, but mainly I'm a servant of God, just like you and all the other brethren. Before God, there's no difference between us. How do you like it here?
I don't know yet. Haven't been here long.
Well, you're too humble. I'm sure you must have some opinion, but I won't pry it out of you.
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago. Apparently it involved two carpenters who were being treated here, and they were fighting with a monk?
With a monk? Too bad I didn't see that.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Can you tell me something about the rule of St. Benedict?
7 centuries ago, St. Benedict of Nursia wrote a collection of monastic rules which we still follow today. They're read at every meal. The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're fully devoted to serving God. The outside world beyond the monastery walls is foreign to us.
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue and the grass is just as green. Perhaps the rulers change, but the greatest ruler of them all will remain unchanged through the ages.
What can you tell me about the novices here?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yodok is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
Talk to me, brother.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka of Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing. If it had come to that after my father's death, so be it. But to get rid of me while he's still alive...
They must have realized you robbed them.
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my my siblings, arguing with the abbot to give it back.
And you stashed away the remainder?
Indeed so.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver and run off somewhere, far, far away from here.
That's all I wanted to know.
Please, keep it to yourself. Especially the part about the coin.
I'm still curious about this treasure trove of yours.
It's no big, terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean, at other times, I don't get to read what I like. And I keep it under the slab so the others don't find it.
What kind of a book is it?
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and bara that. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite prohibited.
Prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any harm?
If it wasn't harmful, it wouldn't be forbidden?
That's a rather limited view of the world. Some write about the saints, others about demons, and an educated person should know both. Pity I can't understand a word it says, and I've been trying for quite a while. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
I'll leave you be. Don't worry, I won't follow you again.
Thank you. And please, Gregor, don't mention it to anyone.
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago. Apparently it involved two carpenters who were being treated here, and they were fighting with a monk?
With a monk? Too bad I didn't see that.
How is it that you don't get any penance for missing morning prayers?
I've paid off the circators to turn a blind eye. And the other monks don't notice as long as you show your face there from time to time. No one's too awake at that time of the morning.
I think the one I'm looking for is you.
You've lost your mind. What on earth makes you think that? My being unfit for holy orders doesn't make me a former assassin.
For now, you're the prime suspect.
That can't be true.
Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Isn't that so?
Are you some kind of lunatic, Gregor?
You've got a strong constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a young boy. He was lost and miserable. He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing some foolish things, but he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog to find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he gave it to him. He didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden the boy was sorry for what he tried to do. So he offered to make a bargain with the hound.
It was you that poisoned me.
Don't take it personally. Kill or be killed. You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. What exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace, and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
What if I wanted a different option?
You could kill another novice, I suppose. If news of the murder got out from the monastery, my former friends might believe I'm dead. But I'm offering you a solution that doesn't require any killing. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty, and I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow, that sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
What do I need the keys to the monastery for?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Getting the keys won't be easy.
I know, but Brother Celerius is a reformed thief. I'll bet he still has a few lockpicks lying about. If you know how to use them, they'll be worth finding. Or there's the hard way. Steal the keys from the prior. He carries them with him at all times.
They both sound hard to me. But needs must. And where am I supposed to get my hands on blood in a monastery?
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it. All the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list. And when it's delivered the next day, take it before anyone notices it's even come.
All right, that's everything I need to know. I can get started.
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything. And try to be as fast as you can. And Gregor, thank you. Service.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. God be with you.
Talk to me, brother.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it. Oh no, such a waste of parchment. How could you? Praise be to Christ, brother.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago? Apparently it involved two carpenters who were being treated here, and they were fighting with a monk?
I don't have a clue.
Is there anything I can do to help here?
I'm glad you asked. There's one thing, a silly thing really. I haven't thought to mention it to anyone before, but not long ago, a brother brought me a crumpled piece of parchment. He says he found it rolled up in a hole in the wall. The thing is, it was a page from Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who. Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered...
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
Gloria in excelsis Deo, et in terra pax. Eleison.
Don't even look at that cabinet. It contains forbidden books. Get away from that cabinet.
Brother Nevelis says that you didn't finish your work in the herb room. Have you lost your taste for honest labour?
I definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you, but next time you'll be punished just like everyone else.
As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make his fear of hell and the glory of
Their responsibilities, leaving us, their superiors, to chase around after them, finishing what they don't. Again, I've had enough of it.
Stop right...
Got you, you murdering swine! Nobody gets away with murder here. You're in for a lesson you won't forget. Personally, I'd rather string you up, but unfortunately, all I can do is throw you in jail.
Look, I'll tell you the truth, but you mustn't tell anyone. The Lord of Ratai sent me on a secret mission, and to do it, I have to bend the law a little now and again. Understand?
My heart bleeds for you.
Fuck, where did that murderer get to?
Jail it is, then.
Get moving. I hope you rot there.
What are you doing here? You're playing truant from the monastery, aren't you? What the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn it, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You're playing truant from the monastery, aren't you?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.